ಏನು equiconvex ಅಂದ್ರೆ they will have the same focal length. Electromagnetic theory could not explain photoelectric effect. Either you are connecting the negative ends together or the positive ends together. Now it is called series combination. Hello students, this is Samson Deepak, Faculty of Physics, Temple of Excellence, Vidyashram Pre-University, Mysore. Dear students, in this session, I will be discussing the Karnataka CET 2007 paper, which on analysis is a strong conceptual paper. To solve the problems that have appeared here, you require tough topics and conceptual depth. So we start bisecting and dissecting the 2007 paper. The first question. The question says, a ray of light is traveling from glass to air. There is a ray of light which travels from glass to air. Nenpidi, light is traveling from denser medium to rarer medium. Refractive index of glass is given. He says refractive index of glass is 1.5 and the angle of incidence is 50 degrees. What has to be calculated here? I have to calculate the deviation of the ray. What are the possible hints I get? The first hint is the ray of light is traveling from denser to rarer medium. I have refractive index of glass, which is 1.5. I have angle of incidence, which is 50 degrees, and the deviation of the ray has to be calculated. So ನೀವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪದ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನನಗೆ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆನ್ ದ ಗಿವನ್ ಡೇಟಾ, is it possible for me to calculate the angle of reflection or refraction? He says the ray of light travels from glass to air. So when you have a pair of media, the first thing I look for is critical angle. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ somewhere can I get the critical angle. Yes, we know n is 1 by sine c, the basic relationship between refractive index and critical angle. N equals 1 divided by sine c, or sine c is 1 divided by n. So sine c is 1 divided by 1.5, where on simplification, critical angle turns out to be 42 degrees. So I have used the relation, I have substituted, I have got the critical angle as 42 degrees. So when you look at the question, what can you infer? Angle of incidence 50 degree there. Critical angle 42 degrees there. So what is the conclusion? Clear conclusion. Angle of incidence, where in the denser medium, is greater than the critical angle. So what phenomenon happens? If I is greater than C, very good, total internal reflection. Since I is greater than C, the ray is totally internally reflected back. So reflection happens. So deviation is 180 minus I plus R. I is 50 degrees. Then how much is R? Angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. So 180 minus 50 plus 50. So the answer is 80 degrees. So the third option is the answer. So angle of deviation is 80 degrees. The second one. Interesting. A vessel of height 2D is half filled with a liquid of refractive index √2. ಒಂದು ವೆಸಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ ವೆಸಲಿನ ಅರ್ಧ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಅನ್ನು, ಅದ್ರ ರಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ? √2 ಆಗಿದೆ. And the other half is filled with a liquid of refractive index n. So 1/2 of the liquid vessel is filled with a liquid whose refractive index is √2, and the other half is filled with a liquid whose refractive index is n. And very clearly the question says the given liquids are immiscible. They don't merge with each other. They are immiscible. Andre, so there is a vessel here. one half of the vessel is filled with a liquid of refractive index √2. So from the surface of the liquid to the bottom of the vessel, I say the height is d. Other half of the vessel is filled with another liquid of refractive index n. From the top of the vessel to this portion, again it is half filled, so the distance is d. And both of them do not mix with each other. Very clearly he says they are immiscible. Then the apparent depth of the inner surface of the bottom of the vessel, I have to calculate the apparent depth of the bottom of the inner surface of the metal. Now I say the liquid whose refractive index is √2 has an apparent depth x1 from the surface to the bottom. Apparent depth is x1. Here apparent depth is x2. And all of us know refractive index is always real depth divided by apparent depth. This is one of the definitions of refractive index. It is real depth divided by apparent depth. In the first case, for the first liquid, refractive index is √2, real depth d, apparent depth x1. So x1 turns out to be d divided by √2. Similarly, for the second case, x2 is d divided by n. d divided by n. So now what is the total apparent depth? So I say x equals x1 plus x2, which is d by √2 plus d by n, which is d n plus √2 into n √2. So the answer is the third option, d n plus √2 divided by n √2. Third one, a ray of light. ನೋಡಿ, ಆಪ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್, ಆದರೆ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದಾರೆ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಆನ್ ಒನ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ರೈಟ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ಡ್ ಐಸೋಸೆಲೆಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್. ರೈಟ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ಡ್ ಐಸೋಸೆಲೆಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಸಮ್, ಪೋರೋಪ್ರಿಸಮ್ ಅಂತಲೂ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ ದೆನ್ ಗ್ರೇಸಸ್ ದ ಹೈಪೋಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್. ಗ್ರೇಸ್ ಆಗೋದಂದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ passes over the hypotenuse. The refractive index of the material has to be found out. Andre, there is a poroprism, right angled isosceles prism, ಅದನ್ನ poroprism ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. This is the base of the prism where no refraction happens. A ray of light is incident normally on one face of the prism. Ray of light is falling normally on one face and it just grazes. Graze agodu andre, again as I told, it just passes through the hypotenuse as given in the problem. So this is the normal. So 45 degrees, 45 degrees. Why? Yes, it is grazing. The moment I say grazing, angle of incidence should be equal to critical angle. Only under this condition, the grazing effect is seen. So we know again, n is 1 by sin c. It's simple agide. Sin 45. So sin 45 is 1 divided by root 2. Root 2 goes to the numerator. 1.414 is the answer. Know the effect. Get the phenomenons. Arriving at the solutions is very simple. Next one. Again, a question from optics. Two thin equiconvex lens. Enu equiconvex andre, they will have the same focal length. So each of them have a focal length of 0.2 meter. Are placed coaxially with their centers 0.5 meter apart. Then the focal length of the combination. Two thin convex lens separated by a distance. What is the expression? Very good. 1 by f is equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2 minus d f1 f2. These are the expressions which you need to be gearing up for any entrance exam. Now on substitution, this is 1 by f1, so 1 by 0.2 plus 1 by 0.2 minus d is 0.5 divided by 0.2. Now, how much is 1 by 0.2? You don't have calculators. Some fractional calculation you should know. This is always 5. Remember, students, 1 divided by 0.2 is always 5. Plus 5 minus 0.5. Again, this is 5 plus 5. 1 by 0.2 plus 1 by 0.2. 5 plus 5 is 10 minus 10. So this 1 by f turns out to be minus 2.5 meter, or f is minus 1 by 2.5. So the answer is minus 0.4 meter. So minus 0.4 meter is the answer. This is a problem on the deviation and angular dispersion part. This is omitted from your syllabus. You require a bit of theory. When I gauge predatory classes, we will handle this. Electromagnetic theory of light failed to explain. Dear students, electromagnetic theory substantiated or justified wave theory of light. Therefore, it was always possible to explain phenomena using wave theory. So one of the phenomenon which does not use wave theory but depends on particle nature was photoelectric effect. Therefore, electromagnetic theory could not explain photoelectric effect. Again, a question from wave optics. Light from two coherent sources of same amplitude A and wavelength lambda illuminates the screen. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಕೊಹರೆಂಟ್ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಹುಶಃ ಇಂಟರ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. The light coming out of the coherent sources has the same amplitude and same wavelength. Now he says the intensity of the central maximum is I0. Central band, central maximum is I0. If the sources were incoherent, beautiful word, if the sources were incoherent, intensity at the same point will be coherent sources ittu, superposition of waves happened, interference pattern was caught, central maximum was defined. Incoherent sources, can there be superposition? No. Interference pattern? Absolutely no. So this maximum or the central point should have an intensity which is half of this. So the answer is I0 divided by 2. Next one. The famously called YDSE, Young's double slit experiment with sodium vapor lamp. Young's double slit experiment na perform ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ವೇಪರ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಪ್ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Wavelength of light is 589 nanometer and the slit distance is 0.589 millimeter. Angular width of the central maximum. So here the angular width, angle, the theory itself, the word itself defines angular width. So always remember, it is the half angular width. So half angular width for central maximum sin theta is lambda divided by d. How much is lambda? 589 nanometers 10 power minus 9. D is 0.589 millimeters. Adana 589 into 10 power minus 6 meters ant barkoltini. This gets cancelled. So this is 10 power minus 3. So what is theta? Sine inverse 0.001. So the answer has to be B. 10 power minus 3 is 0.001. So it is sine inverse of this. Again, diffraction. See, so beautiful concepts. In a single slit, Fraunhofer diffraction pattern. Odidira makle? Fresnel's diffraction. Fraunhofer diffraction. He says, in a Fraunhofer diffraction pattern is formed with white light. For what wavelength of light? Yava wavelength ige third secondary maximum in the diffraction pattern coincides with second secondary maximum. Third secondary maximum in the diffraction pattern coincides with second secondary maximum in the pattern when red light of this wavelength is used. Simple ಆಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಫ್ರಾನ್ಹಾಫರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ರೆಡ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಇದು ಸಿಕ್ಕುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೆರಡೂ ಕೋಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ದಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ in Fraunhofer diffraction pattern. Secondary maximum condition is xn is 2n plus 1 lambda d divided by 2d, where lambda is the wavelength of light used and n is the order of the secondary maxima. ಈಗ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ x3 ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ 2 into 3 plus 1. 2 into 3 6 plus 1 7 lambda d divided by 2d. x2 2 into 2 plus 1 5 Here lambda is known 6,500. All the four options are in angstroms. I keep it into D. He says, for what lambda x3 becomes equal to x2. This gets cancelled. D gets cancelled. Simplify for lambda. The second option will be the answer. Again, see, just knowing the expression very easily, I am coming out with the answers. The next one. The problem says, the headlights of a Jeep are 1.2 meters apart. So I will be considering the two headlights as point objects here. So the two headlights of the Jeep I am considering as the point object. So the headlights of a Jeep are 1.2 meter apart. If the pupil of the eye, pupil of the eye of an observer has a diameter of 2 millimeters. So the diameter of the pupil is 2 millimeters and wavelength of light used is 5896 angstrom. What should be the maximum distance of the Jeep from the observer if the two headlights are just separated? So the two headlights are just separated. Limit of resolution. So we know X is given by capital D into small d, 1.22 lambda. Self-luminous objects, they give out light. D is the diameter. So 2 into 10 power minus 3 millimeter alirodrinda. Small d, distance between the 2 point objects, 1.2 divided by 1.22 into wavelength 5896 into 10 power minus 10. So when we simplify, the answer is the second option, 3.39 kilometers. This simplification you should be brisk. ಇದನ್ನು 1.2 near consider ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ this gets cancelled out. So 5,900 2 divided by 5,900 ಮೇಲೋದಾಗ plus 10 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. These manipulations you should know to get the answer in the required time. Again a beautiful question. When the angle of incidence is 60 degrees on the surface of a glass slab, on the surface of a glass slab, it is found that the reflected ray is completely polarized for an angle of incidence which is 60 degrees. The reflected ray is completely polarized. then the velocity of light in glass has to be calculated. My dear students, the ray of light is traveling from air to glass. It is incident on glass at 60 degrees. I have to calculate velocity of light in the glass. Anywhere I can pick up the relation here? Yes, I know something called absolute refractive index, where N is C divided by V, ratio of velocity of light in vacuum to the velocity of light in a material medium. Always know this. This is called absolute refractive index. N equals C divided by V. So V is C divided by N. C is a constant. But what about N? Here comes the statement. The reflected ray is completely plane polarized. Hagidre, what is that angle called? Brewster's angle, polarizing angle. So Mr. Brewster will help me to solve this, where I say from Brewster's law, N is tan theta P. Theta P, polarizing angle. So N is tan 60 degrees, where N is nothing but root 3. So now very simple. So 3 into 10 power 8 by root 3. I will rationalize into root 3 divided by root 3. This 3 and the denominator gets cancelled. So the answer is root 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second. See how beautiful. This is again one question, students, which is from your previous syllabus. Again based on polarization. We call this as the angle of polarization, rotation, specific rotation, which is again taken out from your syllabus. We will not have a discussion on this. Next, two identical charges repel each other with a force. ಎರಡು identical charges ಇದೆ. They are repelling each other with a force which is equal to 10 milligram weight. ನೋಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ milligram weight. ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಗಳನ್ನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬಾರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. milligram weight. When they are 0.6 meter in air, value of G is given. I want the value of each charge. Two identical charges repelling each other. The moment you say charge, the moment you mention the force between them, Coulomb's law comes into picture. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 by R square. Mathematical form of Coulomb's law. What is the force between the charges? 10 milli. So 10 into 10 power -3. ಆದ್ರೆ kg weight ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? SI unit ಏನು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ದು? ನ್ಯೂಟನ್. How do you convert kg weight to Newton? Multiply with small g, which is 10 meter per second square. So it is 10. Value of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, 10 into 9 into 10 power 9. Identical charges, q square. So R square will be 0.36. So when you simplify, so this becomes, we need Q square. So this is 0.36 into, this is 10 power 1, 10 power 1, 10 power 2. So this is 10 power -1 divided by 9 into 10 power 9. By keen observation, somewhere 36 by 9 has to be 4. So this is 4 into 10 power -12. So each charge will be 2 microcoulomb. So 2 microcoulomb is the answer. The potential of the electric field, again very simple. So E is always equal to dV by dx, which is 6x. So substituting -2, the answer is -12 volt per meter. This is again done in my previous session, 2016. Please go refer to that. The same problem, 5 volt is the answer. Next one. 2 identical capacitors. Identical capacitors andrenu? They will have the same capacitance. ಒಂದೇ capacitance ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಕಲ್ capacitors ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Two identical capacitors, each of capacitance 5 microfarad, are charged to potentials 2 kilovolt and 1 kilovolt. They have a capacitance of 5 microfarad each, and they are charged to potentials 2 kilovolt and 1 kilovolt respectively. The negative ends are connected to each other together. Now, when the positive ends are connected, the loss of energy in the system has to be calculated. Again here, the entire hint lies in these two lines. When you connect either the negative ends of the two capacitors together, or you connect the positive ends together, it becomes series combination of capacitors. Nenpidi, either you are connecting the negative ends together or the positive ends together. Now it is called series combination. And we are asked to calculate the potential or the loss of energy. First step, please to recall the expression for energy stored in a capacitor. It was U equals half CV square. This is the basic expression for energy that is stored in a capacitor. Now, on simplification, what happens to C? I told, now this is working as a series combination. Effective capacitance when capacitors are in series. C1, C2 divided by C1 plus C2. Resistors parallel ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟರ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ the inverse. Now V, it is loss of energy, very clearly asked. So it is V2 minus V1 whole square. So this is half. Both of them have the same capacitance into 5 into 10 power minus 6. So this is 5 plus 5, 10 power minus 6. So this is 2 kilovolts, 2000 volt minus 1000 volt. So I say 10 power 3 square. ನೋಡಿ, simplification ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ powers of 10 ಅಲ್ಲಿರಲಿ, so that easily you can just avail with time. So this is half. 110 power minus 6 gets cancelled. 25 into 10 power minus 6. 5 plus 5 is 10. You have a 10 power 6. Now see, simplification is so easy. 10 power minus 6 plus 6 gets cancelled. 10 into 2, 20. 25 divided by 20 is 1.25 joules. So the loss of energy here is 1.25 joules. Next one, again on capacitors, interesting. Parallel plate capacitor with air as the dielectric has a capacitance C. When air is the dielectric medium between the plates, capacitance is C. A slab of dielectric constant K and having the same thickness as the separation between the plates is introduced so as to fill 1/4 of the capacitor. ಎರಡು ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ. ಎರಡು ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಧ್ಯ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಡೈಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ K, such that it is filling 1/4 of the capacitor. 1/4 of the capacitor is filled with the slab, which means 3/4 of the capacitor is filled with air. The new capacitance has to be found out. Now, with air as the medium, We know capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor is epsilon naught A divided by D. This is epsilon naught by D. Now, what is the area when I am considering only air? This is 3 by 4A. Very good. So, 3 by 4A. So, this is 3 by 4 epsilon naught A by D. Now, I have a dielectric constant. In this case, C2 is epsilon naught A, K divided by D. What is K? It is the dielectric constant of the slab. How much is the area now? 1 by 4. So this is in the same way 1 by 4 epsilon naught A K divided by D. Now what will be the new capacitance? C is C1 plus C2. If you observe throughout, epsilon naught A by D is constant. I take it out. So here we have 3 by 4 plus 1 by 4K. Or this is nothing but C 3 plus, so D is there. So the answer is the fourth option, which is K plus 3 C by 4. Again, see, simple steps. This is the problem on drift velocity. We have worked it out sufficient. Use the expression I equals NA VD into E, or VD is I divided by NAE. Proper substitution, drift velocity turns out to be 1.56 into 10 power minus 3 meter per second. Two bulbs are rated 25 watts, 220 volts, 100 watts, 220 volts, connected in series to 440 volt supply. Then which of them will fuse? Short. If you observe bulb A, it is operating on 25 watt 220 volt. The potential is large when compared to the power it is operated with. 25 watt 220 volt. Here it is 100 watt 220 volt. So any exceeding in the limits of current, A has to fuse out. So 25 watt bulb fuses. Current passing through the ideal ammeter. Current na kandidibeko. So first I find the effective resistance. Here 2 ohm and 2 ohm are in parallel. So RP we know, R1, R2 divided by R1 plus R2, 2 into 2 divided by 2 plus 2, 1 ohm. Now 1 ohm, 2 ohm, and this effective resistance 1 ohm is in series. So RS1 is 4 ohms. That is 1 plus 2 plus 1. This again is in series with this 4 ohm. So RS is 4 plus 4, which is 8 ohms. ಇಷ್ಟ್ರದ್ದು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ನ RS1 ಅಂತ ಕರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. 1 plus 2 plus 1, 4 ohms. That 4 ohms is in series with 4 ohms, 8 ohms. So what is the current through this ammeter? I is V by R from Ohm's law. V is 4. 4 by 8, half. So the answer is 0.5 ampere. So 0.5 ampere is the answer.